Alright, I think enough time has passed and I'm pretty sure most of you guys have seen Thunderbolts now, so I'm curious how y'all felt about it. I came out of the movie saying that this was pretty good. Not as crazy as I thought it would be just because everybody was overhyping the hell out of it, but definitely not a bad movie. I personally enjoyed Captain America better. Some people felt like this was better than Captain America. Either way, both were good movies, and I had a few gripes, not many, so I'll start there. I didn't really like the competitive trauma dumping. It kind of felt like they were being lazy, like they were trying to find a really quick way for these characters to connect. I mean, the main selling point of the movie is that this group is not exactly a good team. They're a bunch of misfits. And then when you watch the movie, you see that they all connect through their trauma and pain. They've all been through it in their lives. Now, although it annoyed me a little bit, I didn't think it held back the movie too much, especially since that's obviously going to be the central theme as you continue to watch, is that these ex-assassins and ex-villains, they're here to heal and be better. They know damn well they're not the people for the job, but they're here and they gotta do something. And the most important part about this team is despite all of the terrible things all of them have done, none of them, at their core, are bad people. It feels like the movie does that pretty well. Like I said, I just didn't like how they tried to speedrun it at the beginning. And honestly, for a movie that has 3 super soldiers and 2 super spies, one that has this cool phasing ability, Ghost of course, I thought there'd be a little more action and a little more fight scenes, but the only ones that were really noteworthy was the action in the beginning when they fight each other and have to fight their way out of the facility, and then the 2-second fight scene where they fight Valentina's goons before they go upstairs and get absolutely washed by the Sentry. Wouldn't really call that a fight scene, but it is what it is. In my opinion, even though Sentry's in the movie, the most exciting part of the movie is when they were all fighting each other at the very beginning. It was really interesting to see their strengths and weaknesses. Like, obviously John Walker is the biggest physical threat there, so he was kind of dominating until Ghost showed up. Because not only is Ghost super strong, but you can't actually hit her. So she was clearly the strongest in the room. And then you had Yelena, who was still trying to hold her own. She is like a Black Widow, so can't really count them out ever. And then you got Taskmaster, the cannon fodder that got fucking one shot. I still can't believe that's how that happened. But Taskmaster got decimated. But for the 2 seconds Taskmaster was there, she was cooking too. I found that fight scene very interesting, very fun. Honestly, in a way, the Sentry fight scene was fun just because, and I like the creativity here, you could actually see the different fighting styles of each member of the Thunderbolts. How they're all very skilled and they all did their best to use their abilities and enhancements to do literally anything to the Sentry. And the fact that he's so OP that for all of their attacks really, he just kind of stood there, but they were still able to let each character shine. I thought that was pretty cool and creative, so I did enjoy the fight scene for that at least. But enough about the action, let's really talk about what's at the heart and soul of this movie. Grief, loss, redemption, all of these people needing to heal and move past their trauma. Even the villain, they've all gone through something terrible in their past, or they've all done very terrible things to innocent people. And honestly, when I say the villain, you guys probably think I'm talking about the Void, but technically, the Void is not the villain and he doesn't really do anything, but I'll explain that in a minute. So the villain I'm talking about is Valentina. We get a glimpse into her past and to see, after making a fatal mistake, Valentina's father is murdered right in front of her. And we see how this affects her as later on in the movie she has this really cool quote where she says, "Righteousness without power is just an opinion." Clearly the events of her past has shaped her in a terrible way. And this is what could happen to everyone else on this team if they don't finally at some point in their lives make the right decision and finally do something good. And that's what they do in this movie. As the city is under attack and being annihilated by the Void, and they start to save a lot of people from the rubble, and they do this in front of everyone. And as Red Guardian saves this little girl, she is turned into dust, and we see the Void turning everyone into dust. Now, the way they present the Void in this movie, he is a manifestation of Robert Reynolds' depression and all the negative feelings he felt, and that's why a lot of the things the Void says are along the lines of giving up, everyone stopping fighting, and just kind of allowing the darkness to take over them. And for anyone who's currently battling those kinds of demons, when you saw this movie, The Thunderbolts, I'm sure a lot of moments in the movie, that shit hit home, because I know it did for me. And I'm not sure how uber comic fans felt about this interpretation of the Void, but I didn't mind it. The way it's kind of explained in the movie is Robert Reynolds was obviously super mega powered up by the experiment, but because of what's going on in his mind and how unstable he is, all those negative emotions, all that deep depression, all the demons he was battling, that got amped up too. So once he was the Sentry and he started to realize, man, I am a god, I am OP, because he's got these delusions of grandeur, another thing he suffers from, he started to act out. And the assistant of Valentina, who realized power is all that matters, turned on the kill switch, killing him. At least that's what they thought it would do. But as he died, all those negative emotions, all those demons he was battling, they couldn't be held back any further, and as darkness crept over his corpse, he became the Void. And his new persona was that nothing matters, everyone should stop fighting, all of the light just needs to be extinguished as he continues to turn all these people into dust. And it turns out, this is not what he's doing, he's actually sending them to some dimension, I guess, where they're going through their own personal traumas over and over and over again. And at this point in the movie, things got pretty creepy, and it's funny because in Doctor Strange 2, they tried to do creepy horror themes, and somehow the Thunderbolts movie does it far better than that one did, because I was genuinely creeped out. Watching Yelena lure her own friend out to be murdered over and over again, and then when she can't take seeing this and she tries to actually stop it, the illusion fights back. It beats the shit out of her, throws her into a tree, and forces her to watch this kid that she lured out be murdered over and over and over again. Eventually she breaks free and she does see Robert Reynolds. See, in this void that he sent everyone in, he's just as stuck as everyone else. As Void has taken over, Robert Reynolds is inside this same darkness, and he's reliving his own trauma as he looks and sees himself as a child and his mother being abused by his father. So on top of all the mental issues he's already going through, he was also abused. And after fighting through her own traumas, she finally gets to Robert and she consoles him as she finally helps him heal. But it's not really enough, and everything starts to fight back, and her and Robert are overwhelmed. This is when the Thunderbolts, grieving what they thought was the loss of Yelena, also jump into the Void. And this is probably one of the biggest fumbles of the movie, because everyone, including myself, when we saw the trailer, we assumed that that's what that darkness was when Yelena was walking into it. Some kind of dimension, probably the way they would have beaten the Void because they can't do it physically. And we thought we'd see everyone's trauma. We'd see Bucky and what he did as the Winter Soldier, Red Guardian and whatever he might have done. We'd see John Walker and probably the pains of war, or him losing Battlestar and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We would have seen Ava Starr and all the terrible things she did as Ghost. Everyone's got a bunch of trauma, and maybe it was cut out. I hope it's a deleted scene that we get to see. But to only show Yelena's trauma, I mean, she's the heart and soul of the movie, I get it, but that's a miss for me. But anyway, they all just show up after going through their own traumas that we don't get to see, and they all try and help Bob heal from what's going on, because this is truly the only way to stop the Void, as darkness has basically engulfed all of New York, and everyone has been sent to the Void. And eventually this all culminates in him fighting the Void in a one-on-one fight as he holds everyone else hostage and they can't really do much about it. But this is what the Void wanted. He wanted Robert to let loose and just basically pummel his face in and give in to the darkness and despair. And Yelena realized that's exactly what he wanted, so eventually they're all able to break free. They give Robert this big hug, and this is how they defeat the Void. For people who want a big fight scene at the end, you don't really know the Sentry or the Void, this is honestly the only way this team could have done it. They're all way too weak. So it's more of a mental battle helping Robert heal a little bit. Now to me, although I understood and I did enjoy it, and as someone who has gone through his own mental battles, I enjoyed the movie, I can see why this would be a pretty lackluster ending for some. It's not exactly exciting, but it is good. And honestly, this took the wind out of my sails a little bit, because I thought once they finally defeated the Void and got Robert back into his body, everything was cool, that the decimation that happened to New York would still be there. But like I said, he didn't kill anyone, he just sent them to the Void. So once he was brought back, they were too. So essentially, nothing happened. And on top of that, Robert doesn't even remember. Now I was cool with this because where they have him now in terms of the Marvel Universe is pretty much where I've seen Sentry in the comics. He's an extremely unstable hero that they call upon when it's like really dire because they know he's not well. And honestly, there's this looming threat of the Void anytime he pops up. So because of that, the Thunderbolts are just gonna stick around. Like they kind of all agree, yeah, Bob's gonna stay with us. If he can do all this and just fucking forget and he's this uber powerful, we need to keep him around. We're good. So I like how they did it, and I felt like it was pretty close to the comics, at least in my opinion. And the craziest part of the movie to me is as everything is finally fixed and this is all Valentina's fault, of course they're ready to, some of them are ready to kill her, ready to arrest her, she's gotta go. So she's pretending that she's running away only to ambush them with the press and just spring it on them. Hey guys, these people just saved New York. I introduce to you the new Avengers. So Instead of actually having to take her in, now they're all forced to hold on to this lie because technically nothing happened to the city, and now there is a new Avengers team. So this Thunderbolts team with the Sentry, technically, because he's not really using his abilities as we see later on, this is the new Avengers. And what absolutely broke my heart is in one of the post-credit scenes when we see everyone's got their new suit, they've got this new hideout, like they've got this new tech, like they are the Avengers. It's pretty cool. I thought, where the hell's Captain America? Captain America, Sam Wilson, and the Falcon are making the Avengers. And it turns out when watching this scene that they actually had a conversation, or at least Bucky did, had a conversation with Sam and it did not go well, as Captain America is supposed to be making the Avengers and leading that team. Not some group appointed by Valentina, the fucking villain, and appointed by the government. Because as you guys remember, the Avengers are supposed to be outside of the government. As Steve Rogers said, the safest hands are still our own. And hopefully, since we didn't really see the conversation that Bucky brought up, he explained that he didn't exactly want to be an Avenger, and this isn't exactly what he was trying to do, but they're in the situation now. But according to what Bucky said at the end of that scene, the conversation did not go well, so he and Sam at the very least may be on the outs, and it looks like we're gonna get two Avengers teams, and I do have my own theory about this. If you guys have seen the cast of the new Avengers movie, Avengers Doomsday I think it's called, it's huge, practically a bible of every single person in the MCU. So, in my opinion, we're gonna have the Avengers and the new Avengers, one led by Sam Wilson's Captain America and the other led by Bucky or Yelena, whatever they do with the Thunderbolts, or the new Avengers now. But I believe there will be two Avengers teams, two giant teams, and they will just be doing two separate things in that movie. Because like I said, the cast is humongous. So eventually, I think they'll just have to get along. But for now, it looks like Sam Wilson is trying to trademark the name Avengers, and he is not cool with there already being an Avengers team, as he currently builds his own. And we also see that the Fantastic Four are coming to the universe. And me personally, I felt like they must have lost their fight in their upcoming movie. Galactus must annihilate their entire universe as they come to the MCU to warn them about the impending threat of Galactus and the Silver Surfer. That's just my guess though, maybe they won and they're coming here to warn the MCU, but either way, something must have happened in their movie to send them here, and most of us assumed they'd appear in the MCU, so I wasn't really surprised by this. Overall, like I said, I liked the movie. I think it's a bit overhyped, but I liked it. It hit home in a lot of different ways. The emotional beats between Yelena and her father were done beautifully. I loved the banter, especially the big brother, little brother energy of John Walker and Robert Reynolds. I felt like they did the Sentry well, and because he's so damn OP, I didn't really expect much of a fight between him and the group, and I didn't expect this cool CGI battle either. It being a mental battle is very Sentry, because although no one in this movie is okay, Sentry really is unwell when it comes to his mental health. But I hope you guys enjoyed my little breakdown slash rant slash opinions. I really liked it. I hope you guys go watch it for yourselves. Let me know how you felt about it in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one.